Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
Hey y'all, welcome to Dear Alice. We're so excited to be with you today. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. We're always grateful to those that listen and that love interior design. There's so much to talk about, right?
Really is.
I wish you guys could talk back and we could all be sitting around this table together.
One day we're going to get people
It's
calling in
true.
somehow. I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
We're going to get a bigger...
a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
We could fit like 6
I'll
people
too.
in here.
I know, but don't you think it'd be so much more fun
Yeah.
for people?
Yeah.
I like to envision what you guys look like doing this and hanging out with us in the world. So
Commenting and
Yes.
that'd be fun.
I think one fun thing recently that we found in the reviews is that not everybody obviously has our style or like, you know, and like we designed for the human and it's all different, but I feel like we've gotten a few reviews lately that are like, okay, so I finally looked at your portfolio after listening to your podcast for like months and realized we actually like, I'm a lot more traditional or I'm a lot more this or that, but everything still resonates. All the principles still apply
I was just going to say
to my style. And I'm like, that is the goal. That is our like overarching theme. Always is that like you figure out your style. It will dictate all your decisions if you can figure that one thing out. And so we're here to help.
Somebody recently also said, and thank you for just talking about design and not necessarily like the business of design or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the process or there's like so many things that kind of come up on the business side that not everybody needs to understand, right? I think it's just good to talk
or it's
about
not exciting
and celebrate
even.
design
Yeah.
in general. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I think this can apply to everybody, even if you're not in the business of design.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone has a home.
Exactly. We all inhabit a space.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And there's a million ways to skin a cat. And so just, it's kind of paralyzing. It's going to be expensive. You're going to have to make decisions and you're just so paralyzed to make the wrong one. So it's good to have this conversation so that we can hopefully help guide and help you in knowing what size rug to buy. If nothing else, go big, right?
yeah. And I think also to humanize the experience.
Yeah.
Speaking of humanizing experience, I'm going to give you an update on the bathroom remodels.
Oh, please do.
'Cause it has been a full calendar year, guys.
Has it really?
Since Grandma had soggy
Wow.
socks last March.
And it was like,
2023.
it was like, hey, we was emergency. We got to get this going.
Yeah,
right?
I was so fast those first couple of weeks. I'm like, I'm
bust
going
out
to pick up this, I'm
spatula.
going to get that. I'm like, started like flipping these laminate floors out of the way. The baby on my
So
hip.
it's like, this is going to be done at the end of the
No, I'm
month.
just like, I have to move fast.
Had you
And
known,
Had
you known it was a year project,
I could have
you would have
just
still hustled in the
slowed down.
beginning.
I would have just like, get it over with.
Mhm.
But anyway, you guys, they're done. I think I might have like a 1% like bits I have to do, but they're done. We're using them and they're so beautiful. The cabinetry is in.
Beautiful.
The hardware is in.
Guys,
The countertop's in.
I have never seen a more beautiful cabinet than Suzanne Hall's bathroom cabinet.
Stop it, Jessica Bennett.
I feel as though
For
she's
real.
rescued it from a train that was going from London to Paris.
Is it
And
textured?
Oh,
It
she
looks
got
like
a
it.
I'm
vintage
gonna have you come over. We're all gonna
burled
like have
walnut.
dessert in my bathroom.
Guys,
Yeah.
I have
Think about it.
I've never seen anything like it. And you nailed it on the hardware and the bullnose and the stone. And it's the prettiest little bathroom I've ever seen.
Guys, my cute little camper bath got
It's
an
so
upgrade.
pretty.
Mhm.
So I think we've teased you about this before. We're going to shoot the bathrooms. And Suzanne has even agreed to give you a full breakdown on pricing of what it cost her in 2023, 2024 to complete a bathroom remodel, because nobody talks about that stuff.
2 bathroom remodels.
Oh, yeah.
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 But if you're doing one, I mean, what's two
Don't
when
you
you're
think-
already doing
Pile.
one?
Don't you think, though, if you're an audience listener, like right now, the project I have in my life that I need to complete is I need to repaint the cedar shakes on my house and I need to repaint my front door. I wish an expert out there was like, if you're planning on repainting your front door this spring, plan on it costing X amount of, I have no idea. I don't even know what to budget for that. I just need to call and get some bids. But
Yeah.
I feel like I should share the bids so that we just kind of know as we're working on projects and have a baseline.
2024, This is what
Totally.
it costs.
I just don't want any of us to be embarrassed when we think we're going to hire somebody to come over and do it. And it's like, oh, that's what a Honda Accord used to cost.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
and it is misleading, I think, on all the design shows that have been like aired thus far, that it's like it's fast and it can be cheap. And that is not the truth, because I feel like I know a lot of people, and we have a lot of contacts, and we have trade and stuff like that. But it's still like that dollar amount kept, and like they're not big bathrooms. It's not like I'm doing a walk-in shower or anything like that. Like, and it added up. So it'll be a good episode. So
do you have the total for yourself? Like right now?
She does.
I sent it to Jess. Cool. I'll share it with you after.
Crazy. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. You're going to be so like sick about it.
How much did the,
you won't be surprised, actually. You'll be fine.
Do you know the cost on the sewer project? Like, yours?
Yeah. Just for, another emergency remodel. You guys heard that I had a basement flood. Again, 1971 basement. That was the Lord of the Flies. Like, I would just throw my kids down there. Never touched it. It was so gross. And that was eventually probably going to be the third bathroom that I was going to touch. But we had a flood. So we tore everything out pretty much down there. And it was due to the septic. We're like in the wild, wild west of Highland, Utah. And we were on septic. And so we ended up finding out that we had to tie into the septic.
Tie into the city.
Oh, sorry.
Sewer.
Tie into the city, abandoned septic.
Yes.
Yeah, filled with crushed rock.
So did you have to pull out your septic tank and do all of that, or no?
No, they fill it with crushed rock and they just
crush it.
Call it abandoned.
Okay.
I think, or it's like noted abandoned. I'm not sure, but like they came. I had an awesome neighbor who came in that has like a big construction company, and he just like took care of it, like Olivia Pope. I think you likened it to.
Mm-hmm. Have y'all seen Scandal?
Just
handled. It was
anyway,
handled.
Arnhem, Wink, I'm so happy. Thank you for taking care of that, because it was painful, and like it was a war zone too, because. Anyway, there was a lot of holes in our landscaping and all the things where cities thought it was like stubbed out. Anyway, it wasn't.
Oh, it's right here, so let's.
It's right here. Let's rip up.
What's extra fun is Suzanne Hall has 3 little boys, and if you have a big hole in the earth that a tractor made,
super fun.
Forget about it.
No.
So Susan's like,
that's called a playground now.
He kept throwing a ball down there. He's like, I dropped it. I'm like, liar. Run down there. Don't let anyone else see you, and don't touch anything. Get the ball. Anyway, but yeah, the total for abandoning. Do you want me to say it out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, for sure. It was about it was over 16,000.
16000
plus. Yeah.
$16,000 US.
It's a kick in the pants. That sucks.
That's what a Honda Accord used to cost.
Hell of a surprise.
Anyway, and I have a really ugly basement, but.
Winter 2024.
So she was like, "What's your next project?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna be in my house.
I'm not touching.
Hang out in my bathroom.
I'm not touching.
I'm gonna go outside and play with my flower beds. Like,
yeah.
I need to like touch the dirt or something, because I
gosh.
cannot stand to be inside my house anymore."
I'm so sorry, Sue. That's really exciting.
This is the reality. I'm sure everybody is dealing with something.
Mm-hmm.
I just chose a cowboy's house, and they just didn't plumb things quite square and straight and all the things.
I love it. Oh, that's amazing.
That was back in the day when you could just work on your house and you didn't have to permit anything. You're just like, I'm going to figure it out.
Totally.
And they did. Yeah,
totally.
So every time a electrician, plumber, anyone comes out, and they're just like, I found something really weird behind this wall. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right.
Of course they did. Yeah.
So, yep.
Perfect. Well, let's get into it, guys. Okay. Today we are going over our best, boldest, favorite spaces. Again, if you guys will tune in and watch this on YouTube, you're going to see the visuals. If not, just listen along and we'll keep trying to describe them. But this is a fun one to see. And like we said before, if we had a book, these would be the pages in our book.
When we have a book.
If any of y'all know a book editor out there that would like to make a beautiful design book, call us.
Hook it up.
Yes. Okay. So a real favorite of ours, I think been widely celebrated. This was in Architectural Digest, is Tan France previous closet. If you're following along with his life, he has recently built a new home in Salt Lake City with a different designer. But in his previous home, he had an attic that was unoccupied. And he kept getting beautiful gifts, nice clothing. Of course, he's on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and he's the one that's over fashion. So everybody loves Tan. This is his upstairs closets, or his upstairs attic turned into a closet. And you can see the ceilings here. There's so many pitches, vaults, different shapes happening, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do, how we would unify it. Also note, the height of the walls is down here.
Like 2.5 feet.
At 2.5, we took it up to 2.5 feet, I feel like.
No, I think
this was 2.5 feet.
Like 2 or 2.5 feet, and then we pitched it, I think it's like up at like 4 or 5 feet.
Up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we could.
Yeah. So this was obviously really limiting. And when you think about closet space, you're usually talking about clothes hanging at eye level. And we had to really overcome that And we at eye level did stripes, and we wallpapered what is actually the ceiling, but feels like walls now. And we used a lot of mirror coming up the stairwell so that we could get that stripe bouncing around on that wall as well. And also it's a space expanding trick. And it just felt like a tented room with this green stripe wallpaper when we were done. Lots of beautiful shoe storage, clothing storage. Also, we don't have the clothing wall, but it went up a little bit higher in a space kind of behind where these images are taken. But anyway, got some really good storage, built-in dresser and valet moment for him to put like, socks, underwear, whatever else, t-shirts, sunglasses, glasses in all of these drawers.
I think the coolest thing about that mirrored wall too is like there wasn't a tall enough wall to put like a floor mirror except for that big stairwell. So, and the space isn't like too big that you can't stand behind that railing and like check yourself out and stuff. So anyway, mirrors, like it's just like the greatest like trick that y'all can incorporate.
Yeah.
I think it like the grid of the mirror turned out so beautifully, the vaulted, anyway. And you kind of like creep and crawl up this like really narrow staircase to get up here. So it was a whole experience. I love this space.
And I think the stripe with all the geometry is something you would think wouldn't work or shouldn't work. But I feel like I wouldn't want to see it in just paint or I wouldn't want to see it in a small pattern. It's incredible.
No, yeah.
It turned out so
the
great.
architecture almost.
Yeah.
Anyway, and get a really good paper hanger.
Yes, great wallpaper hanger.
Flow matching right there.
Tan Francis closet, ladies and gentlemen. That is a bold,
space.
fun space. This next one is the Barbie Dream House for Alice Lane. We launched this project toward the end of 2023, I'd say, mid-2023.
Yeah,
right before the Barbie movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
This house happened to get completed. So the first space we'll talk about that's definitely bold is her office, kind of her Barbie room. She has collected Barbies her whole life. She's actually my exact same age. So I'm 48 years old, and this is her office. So she has 48 years of Barbie collecting, hundreds and hundreds, more than can even fit here. And her favorite...
all in those drawers right there.
Yes. Her favorite pair of shoes is this pair of Louboutins that's in the room. And we matched it. We have a picture of it somewhere of us matching the paint color of the shoes to paint all the walls in this colorway. And then really it's just a lot of Barbie storage, a place where she could obviously take a phone call, a space of her own, but all shades of pink, kind of that Jamie Drake trick. Like you can see the upholstery on the chair, the Gucci pillow, it's all embroidered, and other collections. She has Hello Kitties in acrylic boxes and whatnot. Anyway,
it's just again, the color drench, that full bleed, just feeling that all around you again, like in this relatively neutral home, these pockets like just gave so much back to the space.
Yeah, and they really give the individual a sense of self. Like that is so her, 100%. These are not decisions made for resale. This is a home that they know they're going to live in forever and ever, and it's just like the truest thing to who she is. And I'm so happy for her to finally have a place that these aren't sitting in boxes in storage. And she still buys them and collects them, and probably was like embarrassed about it, or only she was the one knowing she's doing it, and now she just gets to fully own it and embrace it.
You know what I also
really
love
cute.
is that her son walks by this like room whenever he like goes downstairs, and I love that he gets to like see like his mom completely embodied in a room. Like that's a real confidence move.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that Ro gets to see that.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Okay.
Another bold space, this one's been published a couple times, is their library. This is 2 stories. It's got a glass ceiling, and then the library continues above it. But
glass ceiling, glass floor.
And
that second level, which is so cool.
Yes, and black on the
Super
built-ins, stark stain grade wood. And their favorite colors are really just, they love silvers, grays, blacks, clear, very contemporary. They took a home that he previously had in his first life with a different wife, and then because it's so rural, they took the house, completely gutted it, redid it all with us, and made it for their life today. And completely unrecognizable on the interiors.
100%.
But
those
really
burled
beautiful.
wood chairs.
I know.
So sick.
Can you imagine it not having that bit of warmth in there? I think that's a bold move. And anyway, so many bold moves in this.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like it's relatively neutral, the saturation is what makes it bold. The depth of color that it went, and obviously the glass floor, super ballsy, very Cosmo area of us.
Yes. I think the warmth of the chairs and the floor and the stained grade temper really nice with the black and the silver. and the bit of shimmer and shine with the chrome and the glass, and it's all just so them. It's really beautiful. Space, it's totally her. This is one bay of her closet.
Jeez.
Slow
That's
clap.
awesome.
She has
clap.
4 bays the same size, and then there's a huge island that spans the length of the space in between these 4 bays.
Lit onyx.
So this bay is dedicated to nothing but purses and shoes, and she's a collector. And
I'm guessing all the other bays are like plumb full as well.
so full. We at one
Of
point,
clothes and cupboards, but this is like the one that's like really exposed.
yeah. At one point we had said we either need to reduce inventory or we need to build more closets. And he assured us that they would reduce inventory. And indeed, inventory was not reduced. In fact, inventory was gained.
I know.
Yes. And
Oh.
so it just continues to grow. But she's found really creative ways to display. I mean, look at that. All those bags. And it's just
It was so much fun though.
a
'cause even,
designer's
like,
paradise.
It really was. I remember like when we were getting ready for the photo shoot and she was just like sitting like just like a Barbie skirt, just full of bags and shoes, just sitting right there on the floor. Just couldn't even see the floor. And I'm just like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to spill from the seams, like just splitting with all the goods. I'm like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the
Yeah.
interiors of the cabinets are glossy red, like the bottom of a Louboutin.
yes.
Isn't that fun?
Every time she'd
cool.
open up a cupboard, you're just like, oh, like
Yeah.
just more surprises.
We had fashion bloggers reach out to us and say, whose closet is this? And we were like, it's a private person.
Yeah.
This
Right.
isn't for show. She doesn't show it on Instagram or anything else.
Not influencing. This is just how she lives.
No, like, yeah, she's just a real person that just loves fashion.
That's awesome.
Isn't it fun?
Yep.
Um,
It's true love for the game
That's
right
probably
there.
one of the most fun parts about our job is when you get to go do style spaces like that.
yes.
And you get to just like feel and touch like just all these luxurious things from like beautiful designers and artists. And you're just like, this is stunning. This one shoe,
Yeah,
the way they carved that out, or, you know, there's just such artistry to all these little things,
totally.
you know, and layers to the design.
Well, and the
Anyway.
colors that they choose, because it's not every day that even you and I get to go in a Fendi shop or
Oh.
a Prada shop or whatever and handle these goods or try them on. And so it's
Notice the
fun.
stitching and
We get to sit and come in contact with these beautiful things and go, wow. And she chose it and she has stories about it. And yeah, it's fun.
so good.
Speaking of bold, this is her.
I love her.
And she's sitting in her basement kitchen. So this is just kind of a fun little space for entertaining. And this is the Calcutta Vagli
Or Viola.
Viola, Calcutta Viola, the purple veined marble. It's just exquisite. And then some of her own things, her pink martini glasses and the lettuce
Put her
wear.
Barbie
And
branded.
yes, and her platform shoes and just her in her element. So pretty.
Bold people in their spaces, I think.
Right? That could be a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, people,
Should
bold
be.
people
I
in their
know.
spaces. So good.
Not. Okay.
Love it.
Alright.
Do you want to take this one,
Yes.
Sue?
Okay, this is a dear friend of ours that we've done a couple of homes for her, and she, again, kind of second life. She got married at, anyway, her and her new husband, they found a home that they were going to create a life together, and it was very, very rustic before, and a lot of weird transitions, lots of weird stuff going on in the house. And anyway, we got to kind of like put her stamp in this, and her stamp with this new life with like stepchildren and her new husband. And it was just so fun. And this picture that Jess is holding up, where the chaise was originally an entry like case opening into an office or a library that was super dark and heavy. And so we actually completely filled that in and made a bigger closet for her. Speaking of inventory,
We turned the home office
Office.
into her closet that you access through their primary bathroom.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this just became a big, beautiful entryway, and we gave it a gorgeous, large Windsor Smith shield mirror to focus on and sort of reflect the space back.
Yep, and we completely redid. We custom did this like railing, you know, with this kind of eternal like banding and loop, making this really interesting design. Probably one of my favorite stair railings that we've ever done.
Yeah, and the floor was custom too. These cut out marble circles, and all of this came real meaning to her. She is an engineer, software engineer, and she really got into the motifs and the shapes of things, and it is meaningful in her life. And that was really fun to get to work with her on it.
But yeah, I think the boldness probably comes from the before and after too. You know,
Yeah.
just how drastically you can change a space and an environment to reflect a person.
Yeah,
I think
for
it's
sure.
Fascinating. In her other home, that's also, I can't remember what it's called on the portfolio, her first home, we did a lot of beautiful plaster work and a lot of motifs, again, meaningful motifs of the chrysanthemum from these paintings that that her grandfather had. These like old ink
Chinese calligraphies. He did chrysanthemums. And when he passed away, they were just going to toss these like fodder. Or right,
it was like this old tin can, and she didn't have a lot when we started. She had a couple ghost chairs and this tin can of these drawings from her grandfather that no one else wanted. And they were beautiful,
and they were chrysanthemums, calligraphied chrysanthemums. And so we hired a plaster, our plaster guy to do plaster, and he did some chrysanthemums in the other space. But when she got married, this is the hallway vestibule going into the primary bedroom, or the primary suite, really. And he did the plaster ground on this, which is this beautiful chalk color, did gold leaf borders, and then chrysanthemums in the interior of the panels. Huge. And we actually couldn't get to this hallway for months while he worked in there. We'd have to go around the house to get in through the bedroom other ways. And we're like, what does it look like? And he didn't want us to see it until it was done, or her. And we were all like on pins and needles to see it. And this is how that space turned out. Just really bold, very, very meaningful, and completely envelops you when you're in the space. It's so pretty.
I love too, there's like this little corridor to her, like at the end of the day, she gets to walk through this before she goes to a deeper bedroom too, that's part of her journey, like to end the day and to begin the day.
Yeah.
I think it's just so beautiful to like, again, it's bold and its scale and, you know, and its meaning, but the colors aren't overwhelming, you know, it's just stunning.
Yeah.
In that primary bedroom. So from that hallway, you go into this primary bedroom. And we did this like almost, it was this like, kind of midnight, like the star. I remember she had a picture of like, was it Van Gogh's Starry Sky? I think was kind of like, she's like, I just want it to feel like that. And so we also had our same plaster artist, Tyler, from iconography. He completely did the whole room, which was like really kind of just like a warm neutral. And it just is so different. Now that it has like this deeper plaster. One really cool thing that I think is really quite bold is this was a really tan, just the mantle portion was existing, and it was like this really like tan hot stone that felt really dated. And so he actually plastered over this with this like kind of limestone finish, and then we created this little ground hearth to follow this over mantle that we created. The builder helped us frame out this whole portion over the mantle, because it was just, again, kind of a flat wall behind that kind of like...
They both have like the same radius corners.
Same radius corner, but we're like, just to kind of clean it up and do something more sculptural and like, and you know, embrace that radius and everything. So, and then just that small mirror up there. Anyway, I love this. In big rooms, we love a 4-poster. So we did this acrylic 4-poster there with like seating group, and it's fun because we just used like furniture from like previous lives and other pockets of our homes, and it was just fun to see it reinvented in such a bold space, and the saturation of it's so great. And I think the fireplace was just like a hero for me in that space.
Yeah, and something about the 4-poster bed, that lucite 4-poster bed, gave it kind of like this like wetness, this transparency against all this sort of matte plaster. Oh, it was just so gorgeous.
I'm so happy for you. Yeah,
love that space so much.
Okay, House of Harrington. You guys, I love this house. We both love this house. This was a remodel. Again, they moved into this home, which had kind of been previously remodeled. There was an older home, and they kind of painted everything kind of this white with gray beamwork and trims and everything. And so we really got to go in and just like furnish it. The dining room we're going to show you, we did paint, but it was just really important to kind of show off her fashion and the profiles and be really interesting. And she likes a wit too, just as a human. She's super funny, and she has this quick wit, and she likes, you know, a little tongue in cheek. And anyway, so yeah, this is kind of this like entry, like proper and formal entry. And so we had kind of this like these two interesting spaces to dress. And that was really fun. We had like a chest on one side, a bench on one side, and this like 8-foot ceiling. And then you go over here, and we did this amazing Thomas O'Brien, this like old school looking drafting study table with this marble top. And it just turned out so beautiful with this like pink mirror, the rose like glass mirrored, and just all the profiles I feel like are so bold. And there's a lot of heroes, but they work together because they're from different eras. And I think that this whole entry moment, like probably one of the most fun spaces to experience, I think, in like the history.
I think so too.
Of Alice Lane, I'll
Yeah.
say. The way it was dressed. And of course,
this space is just adjacent to it.
and we did this original painting from one of our vendors, and it was called Lady Liberty. And again, the colors were just like off enough that like it felt, you know, you knew it was original art because nothing matched it perfectly. And just, it was just a strong woman. And we loved that imagery as you like enter her home.
Yeah, the pieces in that, like the chair, that like pedestal,
with the fern. Yeah.
So rad.
Blush pink stool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything about this.
Did she have those pieces, or is that?
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those are all new.
Curated all of it.
So rad.
Her. Yeah.
But
Another
it looks
good
like
one.
she's probably carried them throughout her life.
Yeah, because it looks like
Right?
collected. Yeah.
Which is totally her. I mean, she collects fashion, and it does influence.
So cool.
Angie was a housewife of Salt Lake City for like 1.5 seasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's got great taste and a real lifestyle, like really, really fun spaces. So this is her in the dining room. This room, we did paint the walls. The plaster scored walls were existing, and we just took paint over the top and did this oxblood color, and then did this really beautiful British console, this great antique convex mirror. You can see the room reflecting in it. And then just really great. The fabric was another favorite at the host and hostess. Is it Schumacher velvet?
Yeah, it's a Schumacher cut velvet with the dragons. And she's so fun. She goes for these things. The things that were original to the room, because it was a large room, were the dining table and the chandeliers. But they were kind of just like, there wasn't anything exciting. So we actually took an Hermes scarf and had custom shades made for both of these chandeliers.
Actual Hermes scarf?
And it completely
Hermes scarves,
reinvented it.
plural. We have to get a lot of them.
Yes.
There were a few. Anyway, and like, so just the chairs, like you can reinvent a lot with like, pick a bold chair, pick a bold fabric, like do bold colors. And I think you can probably keep more than you think you can in a room by just giving some new breath to it.
Yeah.
Great sconces that I think the Condé Nast, that was Condé Nast, that art.
Yes, with the elephants.
Just felt exotic and like
The
you're
green.
traveling somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
All of her Baccarat crystal, like everything in this room was just like such a symphony. And just, again, I think very bold. I think even the casualness of the knot on that rug, it just the black and white, there was just something kind of just like when your feet are on it, it doesn't feel too fussy and formal, so that you actually use the space, but the saturation just kind of like, it pulls you in. Like I see her in here in pictures and stuff, and I'm like, it's such a scene. It's such a scene. And her Hermes plates on that wall were such a like odd to, I think, the history of this old Tudor house.
Totally. And her fashion, her love of fashion was kind of a fashion house moment.
Yep.
Really fun.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's House of Harrington.
Oh, so
Bold
good.
spaces.
Okay.
Another favorite that everybody's loved, this is probably our #1 TikTok post, is Rachel Parcel's library, this navy blue, black marble, oxblood leather chairs, interesting characters happening everywhere. It's a really fun space. It definitely sucks you in when you go in the house. You're like, I just want to go in there and turn on the fire and talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's a really fun one. Again, color drenching, I think, is a good thing to learn here. Keeping your crown molds and your casings semi-gloss or high gloss.
Also.
Yeah.
It's not a super big space, but how, like, where you guys place the furniture is perfect. It's like, like we recorded a podcast episode in there one time.
We did. Yeah, with Rachel.
Yeah, it was so, like, it's just so cozy and inviting. Yeah.
Another fun detail in built-ins, if you're going to do it, is you can see this middle row of drawers in the space. We didn't do lowers with cupboards. We just did these drawers. So you can put artifacts, certificates, whatever special you could put in the drawers that you want to hold on to, but you don't have to dig through bottom cupboards. They had enough books that they just wanted floor to ceiling book storage. And we're like, they're going to want some sort of storage. So we put this in. Another really fun detail is the cleats on the built-ins, where you can take those boards out and slide them in and out. That's a detail that we've loved from a Thomas O'Brien piece of furniture that I don't even know if it's still around today. But anyway, the cleat system in the built-ins, really great. Such a fun space.
Such a good space.
Speaking of blue libraries, do you want to tell them about this blue space?
Yes, this is a home here in downtown Salt Lake City. And again, it's small, it's historic. But she had this little, teeny tiny little like office before. And we're like, we want to keep the piano in there and kind of create these built-ins. And we thought, again, since it's kind of a tuck-away space, we wanted to like give it some saturation so it would pull you in and you would want to stay there for a while. And so we drenched it in this blue. Again, you see that cleat detail. We did do lower storage here for a printer and whatnot. But again, I just think that again, full saturation, that full color bleed is just impactful and like gives you a really awesome backdrop to kind of celebrate your creation. She collects art. And so we did this really cool wrap on the corner of her gallery. We did the same thing on a wrap corner in her staircase because she just had so many pieces that she's collected throughout the years. So anyway, go bold, go saturated. I just think it's such a fun trick.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Okay.
Is this the ender?
Yes. Last but not least,
Yes, you guys
a favorite space. I feel like this was a home called Tiger Oak on our portfolio, and it was also a parade home for us here in Utah. A parade home is a newly completed home that's been fully furnished, and people can buy tickets to walk through. It's kind of like Kip's Bay Show House, but not, because the whole home is done by one designer. And this is the kitchen of Tiger Oak. This one, Kitchen of the Year, was on the cover of House Beautiful. And also won Best of Show for the Parade of Homes, Best House, Best swept the awards.
Not Best Kitchen.
Funny.
Political.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'm going to call that political.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, House Beautiful said it was the best kitchen of the year. So,
So you're wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong on that one.
Yeah, so this one was
2018.
really a beloved house, but really bold. I would say
bold.
some real
Especially
things
for 2018.
that were not trending happening
Ooh.
here. Do you want to take them through it, Sue?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so we wanted, the reason why it's called Tiger Oak is because she loved this old Hoosier from her grandma. And so we kind of took that same
Old Hoosier cabinet.
Yes.
And sometimes you see them in antique stores still.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're made out of tiger oak,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, which is like a quarter stone oak.
Yep.
Right. But like it's called Tiger Oak because of its stripiness. And so anyway, any of like the really like unique wood details, we did them in Tiger Oak, including these islands, which had the most beautiful detailing. So I think the wood islands were, I think, a bold move, especially for that moment. When
Wood
everything was
islands
being,
and wood countertops.
and wood countertops.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that whole thing. We did do a marble inset for the sink. But anyway, just so many good details. I think the fact that we just wanted it to feel like it was an old home, and then like there were some few new like updates. I think the tile work in this space is incredible. You can see that there's just like this rhythm with these brass liners kind of creating this plaid detail on that whole back wall. We'll put a couple different views of this so you can see them on YouTube. I think one of my favorite parts is this whole china cabinet. She inherited all this pink depression wear from her mom, who I think probably inherited them from her
Grandma.
mother.
Yeah.
And so actually she sent us this picture from, yes. Oh yeah. The depression wear is right here, but just a lot of china storage up and around this lacquered green fridge over here. And the whole back of it was like this bright pink. And she sent us this like outfit from, I think it was Unapologetic Dopeness.
Yeah.
Yeah. She sent us this outfit, which had this olive, and then it had this like bright pink, I think it was pants. I think she was wearing olive green shirt, bright pink pants. And that's what we kind of mastered this whole bit after. And it was just when you walked through this house, people would come through it over and over and over again. It was just such a scene because you could never capture everything the first trip.
Mm-hmm.
You had to come back. And I think as far as like bold moves, this has a lot of bold moves, big moves.
Unexpected moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love like with the woodwork and the cabinetry, there's 3 different finishes,
Yeah.
but they like work so well together.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. That whole back, as far as like just the tile bleeding in with kind of this like, I don't know, this tissue pink cabinetry. It was just so pretty. And it wasn't white, but it was just something a little bit off and a little bit more old school. I
The
love
art
this house.
placement here on like the back windows, so rad.
Yeah, with those little art lights. Anyway, there's a few bold moves in this home for sure.
This one made my list of
Yeah.
bold moves
Yeah.
because for a primary bath, we did 1 sink and they share it, and then 2 vanities so you have more counter space to get ready. Because you really only need your sink to wash your hands or to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
How often are you
But
fighting each other?
But it's
you know?
always like in the middle of the way. So then I put my curling iron, my flat iron is like in the sink, and there's only so much counter space. So Sue, take it away.
Yeah. So when we were doing this, we're like, you know what? It made more sense. She's like, I need more vanity space. And so as we centered this, we realized it was in front of a window, which we're like, I wonder like if that's going to be a problem. But we all realized that like when you're brushing your teeth, you do not need to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessary. So we placed this like apron front sink in this tourmaline slab, which is a quartzite we actually had a different slab picked out, and then she saw this at the slab yard when we were slab shopping, and it stopped her in her track. She was just like, that's the one. That's, And so we did this tourmaline countertop, big apron sink, and then she just had all this vanity space we built in the mirrors, and just this whole bathroom, I think, is just such a scene. Like, there's a pedestal. We'll show a picture of like where the tub sits on this platform of stone. Anyway, the whole thing is just such a good space. But I don't know, am I missing anything? It's just beautiful.
It's just beautiful. I also just felt like so practical when you separated the sink from the vanities, so you can just get ready on that wide open space right in front of the mirror with lights right by your face. Yeah. But you also have natural light coming through the window. And I felt like it was so brilliant. And you still have 2 faucets. So if you are both washing hands or brushing teeth at the same time, it's still a really generous thing. And you splurged on the sink too. Yeah. Which is fun.
I sure did. Instead of 2, we just did one really expensive one.
Yes.
So,
definitely. I love it.
That's economics.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this was really fun.
So fun.
Yeah, it's fun to look back on old work and remember being bold in times, and just celebrating great stuff. We should do this episode like once a year.
We really should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I hope you guys were able to see some of this and tune in for it. Otherwise, I hope it listened okay on your walk or
what we should do is like all that, because I feel like we've had a ton of reviews where people are like, oh, we're doing our like remodel. We should be like, hey, send in your remodel stuff, and then we'll do an episode of those. That'd be so rad.
That would be so rad.
Questions and you want like help with something, that we could answer on the episode, like we'd love to.
Yes.
We're happy to.
Yes. And speaking of help, we have another service here at Alice Lane called Home Furnishing Design. And those, we have 8 designers on staff that take requests from all over the United States, and we will furnish your homes for you. The designers will work with all 200 of our vendors to really help you get that look for $0. It's complimentary service, and you just purchase the furniture from Alice Lane. And we have so many different capabilities of getting any look that you want in your house and working within your budget. They'll find out your budget, and that will allow them to know which vendors to work with. And they'll also find out your timeline, because certain vendors are faster than others. So if you want to give Home Furnishing Design a try, definitely check that out. You can look that up on the website. You go to
alicelanehome.com, design services drop down, Home Furnishing Design. There's a form there.
Oh yeah, fill it out.
Reach out.
Fill it out, and then you'll be paired with a designer, or they'll contact you.
Yeah, it's been one of the fastest growing parts of the business. People are loving the service, so I thought you guys should definitely know about it if you want to check it out. Also, will you leave us a 5-star review if you don't mind? That helps other people find us on our podcast. And what else do we have for them?
If you have any
subscribe.
Subscribe on YouTube. Mm-hmm. If you have any questions or topic ideas, email us at dearalice@alicelanehome.com. Follow us on Instagram at Alice Lane Interiors and at Alice Lane Home. Yeah.
That's it.
See you guys next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We're listening. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.